Gotta say, got it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got it.
it says got it or something. I'm never on that end. So then I'll record it and I will put it eventually on YouTube, and then I'll put the links on the Oregon FCE website.
Oh, there's Thelma. That's one of my friends. Hi, Thelma.
Well, Pat, you're making me a little bit nervous. And I know that 3-hour time difference kind of messes people up. The one that Bonnie did the other day, I had some people come on way after it was over. And I don't know, they got messed up on their time there. Time difference. Because you look from Hawaii to the East Coast, it's
6 hours.
6 hours.
yes, 6-7 hours. Well, yeah.
Well, just tell me when you want me to start.
Okay, I will. Let's give them 1 more minute.
Okay.
How about that? And then we'll get started here. We're recording, but we're doing fine. And I just want to welcome everybody here that's new. And I just want to remind everybody that we're all amateurs on this and we'll struggle through. This is a learning process for us. It excites me, though, that we can do this and be able to take in and see so many different people and that I even signed up for a cooking thing in Hawaii.
Oh, the workshop?
Yeah, the little workshop I signed up for it. I think that's Sunday.
Yes.
You know, so I got that, and she said she's going to send out the link for that. So, and just to make sure it's not during my church time.
Oh,
3 hours.
yeah. Oh, it was in the evening, I think. It's
Going
in
to
the
be 2
evening.
p.m. on Sunday. 2 p.m.,
2
which would be 3, 4, 5 your time.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine. Okay. If you go in the chat, by the way, I did put in the Oregon FCE website. And so you can go and look at that if you wanted to. And yeah, I do record these, and then you can go watch them, and every one of them have been recorded. So I think we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'd like to introduce Pat Kubo. Do you go by Pat or Patricia?
Pat.
Okay. And anyway, it was good to see her at the national conference. And anyway, so I'm going to let her kind of take over, and I'm going to let her share her screen, and I'm actually going to put it on I'm going to highlight her picture so you can see her big time. And Pat, if you have trouble with your PowerPoint, do you already have it open?
I have it. Yeah, I have it open
Okay.
on the side.
All right, then I think we'll be fine. So I'm gonna turn the time over to you, and if you guys get dogs or something barking in the back, or somebody else, maybe you could mute yourself. If you get muted all of a sudden, I'm getting some background feed from you. So thank you. Pat, it's all you.
Okay, I'm trying to share screen now.
By the way, Pat, a good friend of yours called me up last night, Joyce Kaneshiro.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this is it.
Okay, you're not sharing the screen yet.
Okay, wait, you sure?
Oh, I saw it. There
You
you
saw
go.
something?
I did.
Can I just click on it to share it?
It's showing.
Oh, it's showing.
Well, you only see about half of it for some reason.
Oh, okay, wait, I'm trying to move everybody off. Okay, here, this is it, I think.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Okay. So you can see the screen now?
Yes.
All right.
See it, nice big full screen one.
All right, great. All right, let me get started then, because I do have everyone's picture also on the screen. Is that all right?
Yeah, I can only see your presentation.
Okay, let me get started then. Okay, I'm Pat Kubo, and I'm from Hawaii FCE. I'm not an expert or an Ikebana teacher, but I've been taking Ikebana lessons since I retired, and I am still learning. When I first started taking Ikebana lessons, I thought that there was only one school of Ikebana, but I've learned differently. The information that I'm presenting to you is part of lessons that I presented to high school and college students as the community service chairman for a group called Ikebana International Chapter 56. Ikebana International has over 265 chapters in over 50 countries, and the countries are in North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Australia, Middle East, and Asia. There's even a Portland chapter. I'm first going to share some of the differences between European or Western style arrangements and Ikebana arrangements. If you look at these Western style arrangements, you'll see symmetry and abundance of flowers. These are Ikebana style arrangements. And you can see that there's a lot of simplicity, and the arrangements are asymmetrical. So when you compare them, the difference being between an abundance of flowers and the minimalism. But both arrangements are beautiful, but it's just looking at flower arrangements in different ways. So Ikebana comes from two words, Ikeru and Hana. Ikeru means keeping alive, arranging, or living, and Hana is flower. So this means giving life to flowers or arranging flowers. Okay, starting in the 66th century, as part of the Buddhist practice of offering flowers on the altar. This is how it started. In India, which is the birthplace of Buddhism, flowers were placed informally, and sometimes only the petals were strewn around. By the 10th century, the temple priests were presenting their offerings in containers. This is the Rokakudo temple in Kyoto, and this is where the oldest Ikebana school started, and the school is called Ikenobo. It started here in the 15th century. The priest, Ikenobo Senkei, was such an expert that other priests went to him for lessons. The word Ikenobo, Ike means lake or pond, and bo is priest or priest's hut. So it translates to priests of the lake. First, Ikebana was practiced only by the imperial family and the nobles. It was also practiced by samurai warriors. The samurai were said to practice the tea ceremony and Ikebana before entering battle, because this was used to purify their hearts and minds. In the 15th century, Ikebana had spread to the common people. The art was practiced mainly by males, and arrangements were made to be placed in the tokonoma, This is the tokonoma here. And these are niches or alcoves in the zashiki, or the Japanese room. The tokonoma would often contain a flower, a scroll, maybe incense, a candle. So it was, again, very minimalistic. In the Meiji period, which was in the 1800s, the government of Japan decided that women should be educated to be good wives and good mothers. They decreed that Ikebana, which was once a male art, was to be a standard part of a woman's education. There are currently over 3,000 different schools of Ikebana. Ikenobo, Sogetsu, and Ohara are the three most popular Ikebana schools. And Ikebana is practiced worldwide. Each school has its own style and rules. For example, the Ikenobo school has over 60,000 teachers worldwide. Ikebana is practiced by over 15 million people in Japan, mostly young women. I'm going to share some of the differences between three of these schools. And like I told you before, when I first started Ikebana, I thought there was only one school and one kind of Ikebana. Okay, this is the Ikenobo school. And if you look at these arrangements, this is the Rika style, and all the flowers or the floral materials are arranged in a straight line. So you might have about 7 different materials, but they all have to line up. So if you look at it from the front, it looks just like one thing. Okay, there's 7 branches and they represent hills, waterfalls, and valleys. Later on, it was simplified in the Shoku style, which had only 3 branches representing heaven, earth, and man. Prior to using a kenzan or frog, a lot of these materials were lined up with 2 straight sticks. So you'd have a stick on one side, a stick on another side, and they squeezed all these materials together between the 2 sticks. The Ikenobo school is now led by the 45th generation headmaster, Sene Ikenobo. So a lot of these schools pass the headmastership down from father to son and so on. And the students receive now classical training, but they also are encouraged to explore the modern use in contemporary light. This is the Ohara school. It started when Ohara Unshin broke away from the Ikenobo school in the late 19th century. Ohara uses a moribana or a flat container. Water is a very important element, and arrangements remind people of looking out at a pond or a garden. Ohara school emphasizes seasonal qualities, natural growth processes, and the beauty of nature. Ohara school believes that it's important for its students to observe nature. This is the Sogetsu school. It's one of the newest or the newer schools of Ikebana. It was started in 1927 by Teshigihara Sofu. In this post-war period, Ikebana schools attracted people of all classes and spread abroad. Man-made materials such as plastic, plaster, and steel were introduced. Sogetsu believes that it's possible to make an arrangement anytime, anywhere, with any material, by anyone. This is the school to which I belong. So if you look at these things, this first arrangement uses a soda can. So the can is cut up and then the metal is bent. This one uses plastic. And I think those are probably those things that you put on the roof to scare away the birds because they can't land on it. And this one is some kind of metal. Okay, so now the school is led under the fourth generation, Yamamoto Akane Teshigahara. Okay, now you might not think so, but this is part of an Ikebana arrangement, and it could be as large as a whole stage. So when we do have demonstrations, sometimes the headmasters create this kind of arrangements. And Ikebana arrangements could also be very tiny. These containers that I used are only about 2 to 3 inches in height. Okay, when you first start as a student, there are very strict rules that you have to follow. And then later on, you're able to move into freestyle. But this shows what you have to go through. This is the front and overhead views of an arrangement. The main branches are the shin, the soi, and the hikai. And they're inserted into a kenzan at correct lengths and angles. The shin is 15 degrees from the center vertical line and is the tallest. So you can see the shin over here. You can all see it here with the angle, and you can see it over here with the direction. The soi is 45 degrees and the hikai 75 degrees. And the length of the material is also important, and the direction again that it faces. So sometimes it's interesting because when you look at a picture like this, you can't see exactly what direction things are facing. This is a kenzan, or what some people call the frog, and it's used to hold the floral materials in place at the correct angles. When you look at an arrangement, you should be aware of things like space, both positive and negative. By negative space, this means the area in between things. So you don't try and fill up all the space. You have to leave these little gaps in between. You look at the line, either straight or curve. You look at mass, color, and again, minimalism. I'm going to share some samples of Sogetsu arrangements. This arrangement is by Carol Sensei, my teacher, and she's using bark strips and toothpick balls. And also, this is a metal holder. And this was on display at the entrance of a local bank. She had the students make all of these balls by sticking toothpicks into foam centers. Okay, here are some arrangements that I've done. And all of these are between 5 and 6 feet tall. The first picture uses Rufus and King Protea. And I had this one at the Japanese Cultural Center. Okay, the second one was for an exhibit at Nordstrom Department Store. And I had to use washi paper and the centipede cactus. And the last one was something that I had to do for a Christmas class assignment. And I have curly willow, which is the framework, asparagus vine, this, and lily and hydrangea. Okay, arrangements again can be small, and in some arrangements, I used vegetables. Anybody wants to guess what vegetables they see? You can unmute yourself and tell me. Anybody knows what this is?
Gosh. You know, that
Some squash.
Kobachi. No, wait, Kobachi.
Yeah, kabocha, pumpkin.
Kobacha. Yeah, pumpkin. Yeah.
And
Okay,
radishes,
and-
green onions.
Right, radishes, green onions,
Eggplant.
anything else?
Eggplant.
Eggplant.
Eggplant. And what's this over here?
Asparagus? No.
Oh, is that
Chives?
oh, the Filipino
Yeah,
vegetable?
the Filipino what?
Oh,
It's called wing beans.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. That's
And
right.
Right, and I used,
nasturtiums.
right,
flowers.
right, edible flowers. And then I used, I think it
Kale.
was kale or something at the bottom to cover things up. So you could do arrangements like, well,
Hold on.
in our Sogetsu school, you're supposed to be able to make arrangements using any kind of material. So if you have vegetables in your kitchen, go ahead and try and use them. Okay, this is another, oh, any other comments about this one?
My volume up, hold tight, please.
Okay, let's go on to this. This is another arrangement that I had at the Japanese Cultural Center. And if you notice, there are not any flowers. Okay. This was during the pandemic when sometimes it was difficult to get fresh flowers. So we were told to do something with dried materials. So what I did was I had a wire woven ball, and I just used the fluorescence from a palm tree and these little woven balls to make an arrangement. So as you can see, you can make arrangements with anything. Okay, and for your information, if you need or you want to find out more about Ikebana, these are some of the places that you might want to go to for information about Ikebana International. And here's the Portland site, Ikenobo, Ohara, and Sogetsu. So mahalo for listening to me. And are there any questions?
No, but it was a very informative presentation and you did great.
Thank you for bearing with me as I did this.
They were all so pretty. You do such pretty things. Thank you.
So Pat, why did you choose the Sogetsu instead of the other two?
Because I didn't know there was any difference, and they were offering classes at one of the rec centers. So I just signed up for the class and started going, not knowing what school it was.
And have you tried the other designs as well?
No, I haven't tried any of the others, but with Ikebana International, the group that I belong to, it's composed of many different Ikebana schools. So we're exposed at different exhibitions and different luncheons that we have to many different schools, and we can see what their arrangements are like, and we can talk to the other members from different groups to find out about it. And that's how I got a lot of my information. It's from, talking to people and then looking at other arrangements.
They're beautiful.
Yes.
Okay, Pat, we had a comment come in on the chat, and it's from Eleanor. It says, great presentation, thank you. I might just read those for you when you.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I was really impressed, Pat. This is Bonnie. Thank you so much. I loved that you put the history in so that we know a little bit about how it all got started and why it is. And I love that arrangement that one of them that you had, I think you said it was in Nordstrom's with
There's
the,
the one with the paper that
Oh, yeah,
paper,
right,
Yeah.
with the washi paper.
the
yeah,
washi paper.
that was beautiful.
Oh, thank
They
you.
all were.
Yeah, I didn't know you can make arrangements with fruits and vegetables.
Right, and
Yeah.
look around and see what materials you have, because I remember one Sogetsu exhibition, we had one member take a radiator from a car, and she did an arrangement with that. So,
Cool.
right, so you can do anything, you just have to be very creative in how you use materials.
Recycle.
Yeah, it's like recycling.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the one that I had on the stage up there.
Oh, yes. Right, so when these Ikebana masters come to do, not workshops, but they do all these exhibitions, sometimes they use the whole stage and they do huge, massive arrangements like this. And sometimes, I don't know if you've had that in Portland, where groups go out into the on the lawn and they do bamboo arrangements out there, and those can be really huge too.
Well, I didn't even know they had one in Portland, so.
That was that close to where the conference was?
I don't
I
know.
think there's some kind of garden or something. I'm not familiar with Portland that much.
Well, I'm familiar with Portland, but I'm not quite sure where I didn't see the address or anything on it, so. There's a lot of places they call it Portland, but a lot of suburbs. And so forth. Anybody else got any other questions? Pat, I really appreciate you doing this. It's a little, as some other people that have already done presentations on here, it's kind of a new experience to go on there and put yourself in front of all these people, and lots of them you don't know. I'm seeing a few comments and a few hearts and stuff like that pop up, so I hope you're seeing those.
So
And
I have sorry. I
go
have a
ahead.
question. You always use heaven, earth, and man for your arrangements?
No, at the very beginning, that's kind of a basic that a lot of schools have. We have to learn all the different angles and the length of materials, depending on the size or the shape of the vase. So there are a lot of different rules and things to think of. And then after you go through all these lessons, then you're allowed to do freestyle. And freestyle is a little more open to what you can do. You don't have to do heaven, earth, and man, but you have to still remember things about the placement, the space, the kind of materials you use. So there are other kinds of rules that you have to follow, but it's not always heaven, earth, and man. That's very basic.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
All right. I don't know if I have any newcomers on there, but we do this every month first Wednesday, 10 o'clock Oregon time. I know that's early for some of you in Hawaii and late for some of you that are on the East Coast, but I would just like to thank Pat. I appreciate doing that. I learned some things about it. I thought it was all flowers and looked to me like I could go out in my shop and make something out of about anything. I just have to figure out all the angles, and I'd have to do a little more research on it, know how to do it, but I like that, especially the recycling parts of it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
So,
that is good.
That's good.
so anyway, I do have a statement. Next month, my daughter, who is Carrie Evans, is going to do the one on Fairbanks. And she had some things come up in her life and she couldn't do it last month. So I'll do that right there. I am looking for, I always have to put the advertisement in. I am looking for others that are willing to teach the class. I take care of everything except teaching the class. So I know I see Peggy's done one. It's about time for artists to do one. She's ignoring me. I know that. And maybe I can wake her up there. Now she's got a few things out of her.
I'm awake and I'm here.
Yeah, well, what I'm talking about
My
you.
niece is here with me and we're having lunch. That's why I wasn't listening and I put you on, stopped my video.
Oh, okay. Well, when are you going to teach the lesson?
Oh, what am I teaching?
Whatever you'd like.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll think about that.
All right. So I'd like to invite
Maybe-
everybody. I still
So
need
when-
some
what do we have coming up?
of Fairbanks, everything you want to know about Fairbanks, Alaska.
Okay.
I learned a lot by going there.
I
But
know.
she'll tell you all about it. She'll tell you about the mystery bus, which they had to remove. And she'll tell you why they removed it and so forth
Okay. That's the only things we have coming up now?
right now. And then I
Okay.
need somebody for October and November and so forth. So you
Okay.
can't all volunteer at once, though.
Okay. We'll have to see what I can figure out.
Okay. All right. Does anybody else have any questions for Pat? If not, I'll say thank you again, Pat. Thank you very much. I
Okay,
appreciate
you're
you.
welcome.
Thank you, Pat.
I
Thank
have a question. Excuse
Go
me, I
ahead.
have a question. Can we get a copy of the slides?
Yeah, I can send you a copy.
Okay,
Well,
So-
it's recorded, so.
I know, but it's not the same as me looking at the physical paper. I like the paper. Thank you.
Okay, well,
So
if you can
he
send me the address and then I will email it to you.
Okay, I think you have my email, Pat, from before. So, but otherwise I'll get it to you, okay?
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
All right. And Pat, I'd like you to send it to me too, if you could, because I need one of those slides as a thumb. They want a little picture on YouTube. I took some pictures while you were doing it, but I missed the one that I really liked. I want to put on there. They kind of got to be horizontal. They're called thumbnails.
oh, okay, yeah,
I can put your presentation on there.
right. I changed it a little from what I sent you before, so I will send it out again.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
if you just send it to Scott, he can forward it to me, Pat.
Okay,
I appreciate it. Saw some of it and I thought, boy, this is something that's different. So thank you a lot for doing it.
okay, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, and thank you. You guys are welcome to visit.
Okay.
Got some people on there.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you again, Pat. It was great.
Goodbye.
Okay,
Thank you,
thanks,
Pat.
All right, bye.
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 How do I get out of this?
Well, I can shut it for everybody and